Hi everyone. Sorry for being a little bit late. I just had to reboot my computer. It's going to be hopefully a shorter one this time because I have to take my son to karate later, and also I'm sure Zolt's got work to do. So, um, please welcome Zsolt from the CEO of YawVR, and he's going to give us an update on the Yaw3 and how things are going at YawVR. Hi Zsolt.
Hi, Brian. Thank you. And hi, everyone. So yes, since the last update, lots of stuff happened and lots of development has been done. And I would like to just briefly update you about that. And Brian, please feel free to ask if something is missing or you have some questions.
Mm-hmm.
So since the last update, maybe what is the most interesting question for Kickstarter backers if we sent out Kickstarter devices or not, and luckily yes, we sent out around 26 devices so far since the last update, which is not a super high number, but the good news is we continuously sending out Kickstarter devices. And we are confident that we can increase the number of that. Now we are working on to ramp up the sales because we started the sales with 100% effort. So as we can ramp up the sales, we will ramp up the Kickstarter deliveries as well. And we also restarted to publish videos about the device, gameplays, and stuff like that. So, today or tomorrow at the latest, we will post the next new video, which hopefully will help in the sales as well. Another, I think, very important and interesting news regarding for our Kickstarter partners is that we could sign a term sheet with the potential investor after lots of negotiation and discussion and uh, arguing and stuff like that. How can I express it correctly? But finally, we could sign a term sheet, which is not a non-binding term sheet.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's not that strong as a binding term sheet, but it's a huge step forward because the term sheet means we are on the same side, or we could agree all the important terms what is necessary for the investment. And now the due diligence is ongoing, and we started to working on the final investment contract. But it's important that it's not an investment yet. So unfortunately, this process can be stopped anytime from now. So it's up to the investor. We are trying to speed it up as fast as possible. But it's not just up to us. It's absolutely up to the investor if he will sign the final contract and will transfer the money to our bank account. And the really good news is that in the term sheet there is a term why we get the investment and how we will use the capital what we receive. And in this paragraph there is a clear sentence about that one of the main goal of this investment to fulfill all the Kickstarter uh, orders in order to make our company how can I say viable again,
Mm-hmm.
or our brand viable again, because until we not deliver all the backer orders, our company is always on the edge of the cliff, because our brand can be valuable and our company can be valuable just if we deliver backer device. So this is one of the main goal of the investment. Of course, this for the investor or from the investor perspective, it's part of the business to deliver all the Kickstarter devices. So for him, it's not a how can I say, not a okay, I cannot explain it very well. So it's for us, it's an emotional question. For him, it's just a business question. But it doesn't matter because the end result should be to deliver all the backer devices. So I will update you as soon as there is any progress on this investment stuff. So it's a good news, but not the final news, and not we didn't receive any money yet. Okay, so
have they given
yeah,
a very clear indication of what will be the thing that pushes them to sign? Like,
you mean, sorry?
have they clearly stated about what they're waiting for before they finalize?
Yeah, so right now we should finalize or finish the due diligence. Due diligence means to check
Check
all the
financials and
documents
books.
of the
Yeah.
company and check if everything is true what we communicate with them. Luckily, we communicate a clear picture about our company, so there couldn't be big surprises during the due diligence, but of course we don't know the exact how can I say, parameters, what they are looking for, or exact facts, what they are looking for and expecting. So we will see. And there is no any other obstacle to sign the contract. We should just make the detailed investment contract from the term sheet, because the term sheet is about 3 pages of the contract. So it's not super detailed, but the most important terms are discussed in the document.
Just sorry to jump back to the shipments that have been going out to backers. Are they still backers that have elected to pay extra, or have you started shipping some to?
Most of them, yes. So most of the deliveries are backers who paid extra, but there are a few devices which are replacements or regular or rent to regular backers, not paid backers.
Okay.
Okay, and some other progress on the development side. We fixed some issues, so of course we continuously further developing the device. We got back some new feedbacks from our users or customers. It's not a secret that you, Brian, also give us feedbacks about your device, and we changed some processes in the manufacturing. For example, to avoid one issue, the solution was just change the order of the welding process, and that solved one issue, for example. So these kind of further developments has been done in the last 2 months or 1.5 months. And we also started to develop some new features like the gaming frame. We restarted to develop the gaming frame. We are in finish. Last time we talked about the end position switches and the emergency button. I was maybe a little bit too optimistic at that time, but now we finished the emergency button. So we are starting to deliver with that the new devices, and we have, so we are not 100% satisfied with the end position switches. So we are still working on it, but it will be, hopefully it will be finished very soon, and then it will be also part of the general configuration. Maybe these are the most important news regarding our last 1.5 months. But if you have any other question, I'm very happy to answer.
So on the fixes, so if anyone's seen my assembly video, one of the issues which Zsolt showed me a photo of recently was where the bottom plate on the base platform was moving. That's been reworked so that it's much better supported now. Were you able to do anything so people wouldn't know? One of the things I found after assembly was that my footrest has a bit of flex, and that seems to be because if you look at, let's say, the seats here, and this is the front, where the bolts on the footrest do up are about halfway back along the seat instead of right where it comes out of the seat. And I gave Zsolt a suggestion about one way to potentially resolve that. So just wondering if you had a chance to prototype anything for that yet, or
There is no huge progress on that part yet,
okay,
but all your other suggestions has been, how can I say, processed or seen.
yeah,
So,
addressed,
for
yeah,
example, the bottom of the rotation platform has been strengthened, and we just changed what I mentioned to change the order of
welding, yeah,
the
weld,
welding process, resulted a more precise uh, finish, what you just mentioned. So yes, and there was some other suggestions from other customers, and we always step forward a little bit with the optimization, and we are still working on your other suggestion regarding the footrest.
yep.
And even we would like to make the footrest more easily adjustable, because right now, if you want to adjust the length of the footrest, you have to take off the chair, the seat, I mean.
Yep.
Then you will access for the screws, and you can adjust the length of the footrest. The upside of this solution is that the footrest is more stable, because you can fix it with 4 screws, but it's a little bit complicated to set the length of that.
Yep.
We are working on a solution where you can fix the footrest on the front part of the unit, and you can decide if you want to use the 4 screws
At the
under the
back.
seat. So if
I think
you have to frequently set the length of the unit, then the footrest, then you can use the front fixer. If you want a very stable footrest, then you will be able to use
the back.
all the screws and the front fixer as
Yep.
well.
I think the method that I suggested kind of allowed for that. I mean, you probably
Yeah,
altered it a little bit, but
absolutely,
anyway, yeah. So,
absolutely.
um, and with the micro switches for the auto calibration stuff, I think I asked in the last call, is that something that's likely to be possible to be added as a retrofit for those of us that have had a unit before?
Right now, we are working on a different solution, because honestly, that micro switch solution looks a little bit too complicated, and our main goal now to simplify the device as much as possible, but not make big compromises on the
Functionality.
user experience and
Yep.
so on. So right now, we are developing the current sensor in the device, and if it will be ready, then we will be able to recognize when you touch the end bumper. Yes, maybe the right word is bumper. The end bumpers of the device. For example, the pitch on the front and back back part of the pitch, there is a bumper, and it's a physical
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
physical obstacle to not
Go
move
too far.
forward or further the device. And it looks like we will be able to recognize when we reach this bumper without any sensor. So we can just check
Motor resistance or something.
rotation sensor.
Okay.
the incremental I don't know the name of that. So the rotation sensor, we can of course check and recognize the signal, the controller signal, and from these two stuff, and maybe the measurement of the current. It's not maybe not necessary. It can solve this question and this issue. And if it will work, that means we can just
It'll work for everyone.
put it out as a software update.
Yep.
And in that case, the calibration process will be like every start of the device. I mean, when you switch on the device
Yep, it'll go
in
through
the
all the
beginning of the
axes.
day, we will turn it forward a
Yep.
little bit slowly. And when it reach its end position, then it will come back and it's already calibrated.
Okay. Well, I mean, given that it's belt driven now, you don't have like the sensor's not going to jump like was possible with the gears. So it should be very accurate to do that, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yep.
exactly,
Because it's
exactly.
more constrained. So that's really good. Hopefully that works. Okay, so any updates or idea of when the software updates for game engine are likely to be? Like, is there any progress update on that or?
You mean the game engine?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yes. Not just on game engine, but Infuse
Infuse.
VR as well. And Infuse VR is important most of our customer because of the motion compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Today I will post a video on our YouTube channel about the new motion compensation. Okay, the video is not about motion compensation, but about Yaw3.
Yep.
But there will be some sentences about motion compensation because we could develop the controller-based motion compensation. So now we have a controller-based motion compensation inside Infuse VR. That means you put your controller or fix your
Fix it somewhere.
controller on your device,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't need any calibration, anything. You just turn on the motion compensation and it works flawlessly. Yesterday I
Awesome. Yep.
tested, and I was first of all very surprised because it's just a beta version, so we don't have any smooth algorithm on the motion compensation, so it's absolutely raw. But it works very nicely, and you know, before that we always had to calibrate the motion compensation software, and it was a little bit complicated. And now, because in the new Infuse VR, the new game engine is built in, so the Infuse VR can run the game engine remotely,
Mm-hmm.
and the game engine can automatically connect to the game if I start the game, and can automatically connect to the device. I don't need to do anything else. Just start Infuse VR. The stream is starting automatically, and everything is connected automatically.
Yep.
And then I have to just turn on the motion compensation, and that's what I have to do. So it was a very interesting new experience for me, because before that I always had to remember the
Do
process that,
this,
okay,
then
let's
do
start
this, then do
game,
this,
yeah,
then do
game
this. Yeah.
engine,
Yeah.
motion compensation calibration, start the plugin, start the game, or start the game and then start the plugin, start the stream, and so on. So it's a complicated process. There are lots of parts where everything can be collapsed, because if something is not working perfectly, then it will collapse, and so on. So now it was a little bit surprising for me how easy can it be done if we can handle the motion compensation and the streaming together. So I'm very excited. This will be released in a few weeks. It was the first time because we finished it before yesterday. So I don't know, maybe it was on Monday. So I could test it yesterday, and I will do my best to release it as soon as possible.
Okay. one of the other things I've been sort of helping, or at least talking to some people in the Discord about bass shakers, using bass shakers, and looking at the Yaw 2, it looks quite challenging to figure out where to mount those, because of
Hmm.
there's like on the Yaw 2 there was the big plate that was kind of a basis where you could add the everything onto,
Yes.
but that's not there anymore, and you have the footrest sliding under and things like that. So um, now I remember you told me that at one of the conferences or somewhere you had shakers on your. I'm pretty sure it was a Yaw 3, but it might have been a Yaw 2. I can't remember. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. So there are, let's say, three places. We are still there. There are some mounting option already on YawThree. So there are some, holes on the side. So usually we put the uh, shaker on the side of the roll. Yes, the side of the roll module. If I'm not wrong, yes, I think yes. So sometimes we put it on the side of the roll module. Sometimes we put it on the side rail if you are mounted side rail,
mm-hmm.
because it's great if it's very close to the seat.
See,
Then
yeah,
you will feel much better.
yep,
But now I'm not 100% sure, but so I have to double check. But there is lots of space under the seat, and so between the seat and the pitch unit,
yeah, yeah, yep.
or under between the roll and the pitch unit, there is a, let's say, a huge space now. So I think I'm not 100% sure, but I can imagine it's possible to mount there
Well,
the bus
that's
shaker.
where I was looking, and that's where it was DJ Slane who was doing it on his Yaw 2, and he mounted a Dayton BST 1, and it fit. He managed to get to fit basically at the back under the roll platform on a Yaw 2,
Okay.
and I was looking at that as well. The main thing is that with the Yaw 2, he had the big plate that he could drill holes into, whereas we're potentially going to have to drill holes where the footrest and everything goes. So I don't know until I actually have the transducer in hand. I'm not really sure where it's going to fit. I don't even know what the height of it is and things like that. But I mean, I'll definitely be documenting it and making a video. But it is one thing I've
Yeah, and
noticed about the Yaw 3 is it doesn't look quite as easy to mount peripherals unless you're using like the side rails or something like that. Whereas the Yaw 1
uh,
had that plate where you could still, like, I had a USB hub sitting on there and things like that. So
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's maybe yes. We made it. YawThree is more compact,
it is definitely, yeah.
not just reduce the height of the device, but we try to make it as okay. So the height of the device,
As
we
small as
try to
possible.
reduce that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of packaging. But I remember that, for example, I will not remember the show in Florida, Sun and
Fun
Fun.
and fun. Yeah.
There we mounted on the AS3 the butt kicker, which
Okay.
is not a small. So and we could to put it on the device.
Okay.
So it's possible, and if you want to mount the bus shaker, for example, on our device, we can recommend, and it's not touch the warranty, if you make a hole on it. It's aluminum. You can drill a hole,
Yeah.
and you can fix there. So it's from the warranties prospect, it's not a problem for us.
Um. Yeah. I actually mounted my seatbelt on my chair the other day, and at the back of the seat on the part that goes round and down, there's holes near the top and holes near the bottom. And I ended up using the holes near the top, but I had to drill them a little bit bigger because I used
Mhm.
an eye bolt because
Yeah.
my belts have clips. So but yeah,
Yeah,
so
honestly, we are considering. it will not happen now. So, but in our ideal list, top of the ideal list, there are two new features. Of
Mhm.
course, on the absolutely top is the Gravity platform, but right after there is two new features, which maybe not never will be part of the general device, but as an accessory or maybe a pro version, part of a pro version, is the built-in bass
Mhm.
shaker.
Mm.
Because we saw nice shakers in small scale, and so I think it's possible to build in to avoid to have to our customers drill the device and so on. And the other is I don't know the name of that, when you have a seat belt, 4.6 belt
Where
or
it pulls
something.
back. Yep.
With a motor, you can just make it stronger or lose
Yeah.
it,
So when you brake,
and
it
it can
pulls. Yep.
add a lot for the immersion, because you can simulate with that some G forces or acceleration forces.
Mhm.
So we are considering, and we are theoretically working on these two new features, but we didn't start yet the design phase.
Yep. Um, so sorry, I'm just going to spruik my own. So if anyone's looking to order a Yaw3, I have a coupon code you can use on the store. So that's on the video now.
Exactly.
Thank you to Zsolt for that, because all of these videos I've made for a long time, I've not made any money from. So that will give the purchaser $150 and I'll get the same amount to me. So anyway, so that's really good. Trying to think if there's anything else. So someone asked about, what was it? Or I had it in my head before and now it's gone. So can you talk anything about, so, at the very early stages of people receiving units, and mine included, there was a bit of shipping damage. And just for everyone else's context, I've spoken, I occasionally email the Doff Reality CEO, and even he told me that since COVID, shipping damage has increased just generally for them as well. So don't immediately place the blame on Yaw for like insufficient packaging, because I don't think it is that. I think it's, just shipping is not, I don't know, it's a lot more damage happening generally. And I've seen that in other packages I get as well. So, but the units that you've been sending out in the past few weeks, has there been many instances of, or hopefully the instances of any shipping damage have been quite low? Is that correct? Or
Yeah, so we all the shipping damage is the almost the worst. How can I say worst? Uh, Case for us,
mm,
worst case for us, because in that case we definitely have to send out a
another, yeah.
new device or new part, and there is no question, and it's just a big loss for us because we
Mm,
have to pay the device. Usually there is no really chance to get back the damaged device because it's so far or something.
mm.
So it's a pure loss for us. Even the customer is not satisfied because he finally get the device, but he
I know
cannot
it's the worst. You're
ship.
like, oh, I'm finally getting it,
Yeah,
and then it's got damaged. So yeah.
yeah. So that is a very bad situation for the customer, and it's a super bad situation for us. So that's why if we see some kind of damage, then we always investigate what is wrong. Maybe we made some bad packaging and stuff like that. And sometimes it's really turned out that okay, we have to place this part for another place in the box because it can cause some damage. Maybe a month ago, it's happened that we have seen a special kind of damage where the box wasn't damaged, but the device
Internals
inside.
were. Yeah.
And it's turned out we put a part on a wrong position, so we just changed it, and that issue is solved. So we continuously further develop the packaging. I think we are on a good track, and there will be another new solution. We will increase a little bit the size of the pitch box, and our expectation is that it will dramatically will decrease the packaging, the shipping damages.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it will never
Totally go away.
disappear
Yeah.
forever, because the shipping companies are very creative. Exactly
Well,
3 days ago, I have seen a picture about our box. It was after I asked. It turned out it was just a 2D module for Yaw3 customer,
mm-hmm.
but you cannot recognize the box at all. So it was like after a atomic bomb attack. So it was completely destroyed.
Yeah.
I don't know how it could be happened during the shipping, but so it's unbelievable.
One of the things that I noticed, and I've spoken to with someone else, was that there's no markings on the box, this way up or anything like that. Have you thought about adding that sort of thing? So, because at the moment, if the box does fall over, they don't know which way was the up side of the box originally.
Yes,
So,
we are working on the printing of the box,
yep.
because maybe
Okay.
now it's without printing. I'm not 100% sure. Uh, and of course there will be a mark which is the right direction, but honestly it doesn't matter. So
I mean, it's no
the
guarantee, but it may
some
help a little bit potentially.
no,
So,
honestly
yeah.
not. So we will do that, of course.
Yeah.
It was the same in case of Yaw 2.5 and Yaw 2. So there was the arrow
Yeah.
where is the up, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes we got some security camera footages from our customer, how the carriers delivered.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. One time they just put it on the ground and just rolling
Roll it. Yeah.
to the house. So yeah, they cannot handle it very well.
Well, at least with the
The
Yaw 3, it's lighter, so it is a bit easier to
Yeah, that
maneuver.
is
So,
what I
yeah.
yeah, that is what I wanted to mention, that because we have the weight of the device, so it's nice 35 kilogram altogether. So
Per
that means
box.
the
Yeah.
boxes are a little bit less separately.
Mm.
That means maybe for the carriers can be handled much more easy, and that could also help to decrease the damages. I think it's definitely not as much case are in case of Yaw 3 as was in case of Yaw 2,
Mm.
uh, but I don't know the exact numbers.
Well, I know when mine got delivered, the DHL or whatever guy, he just like hugged the box and walked it inside from the truck
It's
to my front
lighter,
door.
much
Yeah.
lighter now.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
helps a lot.
So, whereas there's no way you could have done that with the Yaw 2. So, yeah, yeah. And also like just from my own perspective now, it's like with the Yaw 2, if I needed to take the pitch unit off, I would have to call one of my boys, or my oldest boy, because the youngest one's too little, but to come in and help me lift it off. Whereas now I can actually lift that whole lot. I have to take the seat off, but I can lift the rest myself, as long as I'm careful. But yeah, so that's definitely a huge improvement on how much easier it is to work on, and also even just taking it apart is probably a bit easier because of so how much easier it is to disconnect the cable between the pitch and the base compared to the old one. You had to undo all the bolts and unconnect all the connectors and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
yep, very good improvement. All right, just if anyone's got any questions, I think we're probably nearly done. So I'll give a little bit of time in case anyone's got a quick question, or if there's anything more that you have that you want to say, Zolt.
I think I'm okay. If today or tomorrow we will post a Kickstarter update based on this video,
Hmm.
so we will just make a
Summarize.
summary of this
Yep.
discussion and post it on our Kickstarter page. And I also will post a video about Yaw3 today or latest tomorrow. So and I'm very happy to do another interview end of this month. No, end of
October.
next
Yep.
month, so end of October, around the end of October, and we can update everybody about the news.
All right. There was one question that came in. I don't even know if you'd have an answer to, but Vincent said, I guess the number one question is, what's your confidence level in the investor indeed investing? Like, I assume that you've got this far that it's, unless there's an issue in due diligence, you would expect that they would go ahead. So,
No, I think that the due diligence is not cannot be an obstacle.
mm,
So because we have an honest communication. So our main strategy is to be honest, not
yeah,
just
yeah,
with the investor, but with our Kickstarter backers as well. Because in that case, there is a proverb or something that if you are not lying, you don't have to remember
yes,
about
yeah,
your
yeah,
life. And not just because that, but yeah. So we are trying to be very honest, and this potential investor basically knows everything about our company.
mm,
He knows that we are in a bad financial situation still. Hopefully, it will be better in the future, but we are still in that situation, and. He knows about Kickstarter. He's very experienced in Kickstarter,
hmm,
so he knows everything about that. And so on that front, I don't expect any surprise, and I don't think it could be an obstacle.
hmm,
But I don't know. I don't know. So it's for me. It's this investment is important, and that's why I don't want to believe in it too much, because if it will not
be
be happen,
devastating.
and
Yeah,
we have to be very careful to not expect to get the investment,
yeah, yeah.
because it can damage our
You have to
company.
operate as
So
if
now,
you're not getting it, so that you can still survive if you don't get it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm very careful, and that's why I cannot say it's super sure
mm,
that it will be happen. I'm absolutely hope, and we are working on that very hard
yep,
to make it happen. About in a maybe in the next update or after next update, everything will be super clear for us.
yeah, yeah,
But now we don't see that clearly.
yep. Um, so there was one other question about support, saying that they've seen lots of comments about support not getting back to people. I haven't seen all of that myself, and in fact, I've seen a few people say that support's been really awesome for them. I don't know if you have any access to statistics about how
Um,
quickly support
I
issues are being resolved, or
I think if somebody doesn't get back any feedback from the support, I would suggest to please write on info@yawvr.com,
mhm,
because then it will reach some other people at the company, and so our goal is to answer to everyone as soon as possible.
mm,
We have dedicated people for that, so they must answer all the questions. So that's a rule, and not it's not a question. So if somebody doesn't get back any feedback, first, please write on support@yawvr.com, because maybe some other channels not monitored
well,
as well as
I was just going to
support.
say that you need to be using the support at or then the info at, and not like if you go
Yeah.
into
So
Discord,
first
there's
the
no
support.
guarantee that someone will answer in Discord. So the Discord is a community Discord. So don't use that as your first line of support necessarily. I mean, definitely ask other people who, the community can potentially help you, but to officially engage, you need to email support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first, if you so first write on support, then please write on info if you don't get back any information or any reaction.
Mhm.
And at the end, basically anybody can find me. I think so. It's not super hard. If you are searching for me, you will get easily get my in LinkedIn profile or on Facebook. Or I don't want to get too many requests, but if there is no any other way, so if there is no answer from info and support, then feel free to reach me, and I will do my best to give you the support what you need.
Well, I'd also add just be reasonable and wait like 48 hours after you send an email before you go chasing Zsolt, perhaps. After you've sent a few and stuff. Like it's I think 48 hours on weekdays is a reasonable amount, hopefully. But um, does that sound reasonable from your perspective as well, Zsolt? Or 48 or 72? How many hours do you think people should expect to get a response from support?
I think uh, if if somebody doesn't get feedback in 2 3 days,
Yeah.
then
So
please try to other channel and finally me. But I'm sure everybody should will get answer on time.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So all right, I think we're done. This is I think probably the shortest one we've done today, or at least for a while. So thanks everyone who's joined. Thank you again, Zsolt, for your time. I wish you all the best with the investment, and hopefully more people starting to get units quicker. I You may have covered it right at the start, but I was trying to multitask. Has the production started to ramp a little bit? Like, are you building more units, or is it still? Have you been able to build more
Uh,
units per week, or are you still sort of in that phase where you haven't ramped yet?
yes, so we are ramping up. We finished the implementation of our ERP system, and now it's getting better and better. So yeah, the ramping up is ongoing.
Mhm.
Now we have some issues with the motors. We are running out the motors, but it happens basically every day that there are issues. And thanks for this ERP, our expectation that these kind of issues
Well reduced. Yeah.
will be done in the future.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you said previously that a lot of the issues in ramping were to do with stock controls, like running out of stocks
Yeah,
of
yeah,
things. So yeah,
exactly. And now it's much better.
great. All right. Well, have a lovely day. Um, and
Thank
wherever
you.
wherever
Good night for
everyone
you.
is, have a lovely whatever time of day it is where you are. And I'm going to go and take my son to his karate lesson. So, all right.
Great. Have a nice
Thank you.
night.
All right.
Goodbye. Thank you for everyone.